Like Jackson Pollock's easel. My suggestion is you don't blow till you know what congestion is. Swallow when you know what digestion is. Follow Bo. The only question is, have you been splattered before by the Mad Hatter Matador? Cake batter nevermore. It don't matter whether you're Noah or Joey or hosting a podcast right now. I'm singing songs that will get me put on blast.
Single ever.
Single. Hey everybody, welcome back to I Don't Know Though, the only advice show on the internet hosted by people who are completely unqualified. That's not true.
There's so many. There's an infinite number of podcasts out there.
We need an only thing. Because
only.
we are the only podcast on the internet hosted by two guys that are around the age of 21 and in college. Nope. No, the only advice?
Maybe.
The only this is the only show.
We're both over 6 foot.
This is the only show hosted by two male men, one of them mixed, one of them white entirely. Both of them over 6 foot. I'm actually sitting too tall right now. Sweet magic right there. Check it out.
Movie magic.
That was better than the fucking re-edit of Star Wars where they had Han go over Jabba's tail.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
It just goes whoop whoop. But no, this is an advice show where I look up shit on the internet or people email us, and then I put it into a thing, and then we make jokes. Sometimes, other times we help them, and then I forget that this show is supposed to be funny.
Yeah.
So speaking of which, let's just jump right into it. Taking a gap year to live alone and work full time? ? Hey everyone, I'm currently a senior in high school and I turn 18 next week. I don't have the best of grades, but my test scores are good, so I've gotten accepted to a few decent colleges. I was never a huge fan of school, but I'm trying to get my scores up this year. Anyways, I live with my parents right now, and while I do want an education, I feel like I would benefit more from being on my own a bit. I've run the numbers, and working about 8 hours a day, 5 days a week at minimum wage, about $15 an hour in my city, I'd be able to rent a nice room and have about $1,900 left a month for other expenses. I will still be on my parents' phone plan, and most places include utilities. Most of that money will probably go towards food, transportation, partying, and some savings. I personally feel like I would take away more from living alone and supporting myself and working on my self-discipline. Rather than living in a dorm for high school part 2. Do you have any thoughts on this?
I did this thing. I took 6 months off and moved to a different city, and it was good. I would recommend it. Yeah. I mean, there's some things to know about, but
yeah, like what? I mean, that's kind of what the show's about.
Plan that things will cost more. Then you can't just be like, oh well, this is the expected price. This is what it's gonna be. It's like, oh no, things always end up costing more. There's something that you didn't plan on. So think about that kind of stuff. Yeah,
no, and I chose this question specifically because you and we went opposite routes on this. I went directly into college, and you went and spent a year living the life of a 27-year-old man.
Yeah. That's why I'm so wise.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, I think that's a great one. I think budgeting number one thing is what you should be on top of. Because I didn't have that down. I went to dorms, and so all of that was kind of through the school and kind of included in tuition. So I didn't have to worry about, every month I need to make this amount of money. It was I'll live in the dorms. Usually it comes with a food plan. And then you just all you have to worry about is phone bill, if you have to worry about that. Parking, but that's not monthly. It's a one-time thing. So in a sense, living in the dorms is literally just continued high school, you said. You don't have to worry about any of that other stuff.
Then it's just social problems and things like that, classes and homework and grades, and it's all the same problems that you had before.
Yeah. So what is there anything about living alone, or not alone? You didn't live alone. Living out
with a roommate,
yeah, on your own, kind of in the big wide world that caught you off guard?
I mean, it's kind of wacky how little social interaction you're forced to do when you're not put in those situations. So if you're moving to a new place and you don't have people there, you have to try and work for those relationships.
Yeah, workplace relationships we kind of talked about in the past. And then did you ever try and go out of your way to meet new people?
I feel like at the beginning I did. But not really. I don't know.
You got discouraged?
Yeah.
Just let down by other people?
Yeah.
All right. But no, I think that is a huge thing because I felt that when I moved here. and I really did live on my own, and that was spooky because I moved directly from a place where I had this kind of support system.
Mhm.
Like, my parents lived not too far away. I had a bunch of friends that were not too far away. And then I moved here, which is like 2.5, 3 hours from home. And I was like, oh hey, I know no one. I don't really have time to go out and meet new people. I don't really have a way to go and meet new people because like mine was different because I didn't have a car too. But it's just like, oh hey, this is loneliness, and then everything does cost way more than you expect.
Yeah, but I will say it was something that I really enjoyed and I thought was the best decision in my case because I'd been burned out from school. I've been doing it for, the past 18 years of my life. And so taking that time off, like working, it showed you like what a job would be like if you were going to be in the real world for the rest of your life. And then kind of gave me a newfound respect for school of like, but not like high school, but like college where it's, I can go for 2 hours a day, come home, do my stuff, live my life, and then go back the next day and then only go 4 days a week. And it was a good experience. It gave me a new respect for school, but it also gave me a new respect for like what a job would be like and things like that. So.
Yeah, it made you realize what you didn't necessarily want to do for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when you're like, oh, hey, I don't have to, in your case, you worked at in retail. It's like, I don't want to work retail for the rest of my life.
No.
For me, it probably would have been like fast food if I didn't do it because I was already like in that kind of position. So, but I think the reason I went directly into college is one, I didn't think I was going to get that chance ever. And then I was given the opportunity. And so I was like, oh, well, fuck yeah, I want to get out of here. Like, this place sucks.
Right?
But then, yeah, no, food is the biggest expense, I think, on my budget. Like, other than like rent or
yeah, it probably goes rent than food.
Yeah, it's like rent, food, like
internet.
Like utilities, like internet and phone. I lump those together. Like those are the biggest ones usually.
But something to be said is like when I was leaving high school, we did these senior interviews, and I was thinking about not going to college the next year, and like had planned it, like, oh, I want to take a break, but I do want to go back. And then our counselor and our principal were like, you have to go to college, otherwise you will be a failure in life. And look at me now. I have a podcast.
Yeah, way to go, Noah.
I've really moved up in the past.
For sure.
2 years. Yeah.
The quality of your audio has greatly increased.
But so, yeah, they kind of scared me. They're like, you have to go to college. And then, like, I was like, all this, like, you do not have to go to college.
Yeah.
Like, if you work at a job for 5 years, they'll, like, work you up. And then, like, you'll be living it. You'll be, if you're good, you'll have enough to get by.
Yeah, no, and I think that a lot of schools do that kind of like unrightfully so.
Yeah.
Like they just like try and push you directly into a college. It's like some people don't want that. You want a little bit longer of a vacation. Now, that being said, I never got that. I chose not to because I feel like I've just got enough steam behind me. I'm like, all right, I'm almost there. Like right now I graduate next year. And so I'm like, all right, we're at the end.
So
Here we go. It's like when you're running and you're like on like halfway through the last lap and you're like, oh God, I don't know if I can make this. Which you said for you doesn't work, but for me, I'm just like, all right, I have about half a lap. That's 3 more corners. I can do 3 more corners.
But I will say, I could see where if you didn't want to go back to school, but you knew you needed to, where it'd be easy to not.
Yeah.
And so if you're afraid of that happening, just give yourself barriers that kind of like make you, or reminders.
No, I was going to ask you about that, if it was hard for you to come back to school.
I don't think so. Because like I said, it's like a whole different style of school going into college, as you know. I was able to work out, so my schedule was just Tuesdays and Thursdays, so I was still able to work 5 days a week, and my school days were just 2 days a week, so I had like 5-day weekends and stuff, so I had plenty of time to do my homework, and I thought it was great compared to high school, like having that enough time to like get a transition.
Were you a full-time student?
Yeah, I had 17 hours.
Okay.
So,
Oh yeah.
I was full-time.
Yeah, no, I remember that. Like that, it's interesting, just kind of like going away from this topic a little bit, coming from a smaller school to this school, like the change in like difficulty.
Oh yeah.
Because I was the same way. I think I had 18 hours at my old school. And then I came here and I was like, 15? No problem. And then I was just like, oh God, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna end my life.
So yeah, community college can be your friend. I got all my credits out of the way that I needed to and have zero debt. So, well, I mean, with help of family and stuff.
So basically what we're saying is do it. Like,
yeah, take your break, make some money.
Yeah, like if you were tired of it, don't force yourself to do it, because then you're just gonna hate school more. live life, get that experience. I've thought of it.
Yeah.
I thought about taking like a mid college break, seeing if I could do something
But
like
yeah,
that.
you have a couple friends who like burned out, and then
Mhm.
it's like, well, now they're like really done because they like
Yeah.
pushed themselves a little too hard, and then
Yeah, they're done. They're
Mhm.
like, yeah, I probably won't go back to school.
yeah,
I'm like,
and so maybe that mid break would have been good for them too, and things like that.
yeah, they didn't make it past freshman year.
Mhm.
I was like, whoa. That happens to a lot of people though. Like a
Mhm.
lot of people are just like, oh, freshman year, I'm out.
Yeah, well, because they realize like they just got forced
Mhm.
into this. Everyone like the society just says,
Mhm.
hey, you need to do this, and
Mhm.
like you don't have to.
But we're telling you, rise up against society.
Mhm.
You're
And degrees are
could be-
becoming less and less useful. It seems like.
It depends on what field you're going into, I think.
Yeah, but just
but-
like getting a degree to get one.
Oh
Seems-
yeah, no. Getting if you're just like, oh, I'm gonna go and get a business degree, like that
Uh-huh.
doesn't mean shit
Right.
anymore. Like there's so many people who have business degrees. No one gives a shit, you
Mhm.
know. But yeah, no, and especially in art and stuff, what I speak to because that's all I know.
Yeah.
But like degrees don't matter at all if you're an
Mhm.
artist. Like whether you're a filmmaker, photographer.
And my brother was
or-
doing pre med, and he said like he's like if I would have spent these like 4 years instead of getting this useless pre med degree,
Mhm.
I could have gotten 4 different certificates that would have all made me like $60,000 a year or something like that. And it's like, yeah, so it's like he could have taken the certificate route, and that would have been just
Mhm.
as good. But no, now he has this like quote unquote useless degree.
Mhm.
But
Well, so let's just say take your year off, use at least part of that time. Like it'll feel like work, which I know is lame because you know you're like, oh yeah, fuck school, but you should like set apart like a little bit of time a week to like look at scholarships, look
Mhm.
at like your options of like what you want to do. That's something I was really bad at. I didn't do scholarships anywhere near as much as I should have.
Mhm.
In fact, right now I have like only like financial aid and I think one background scholarship, but I think that's it. Like I don't have anything else. Which you know sucks a little bit because I have to
Yeah.
pay more than I should because I'm lazy. So don't be lazy. Look at your options, understand what you're getting into, understand what you want to do before you get into it. So but yeah, good job. We did that.
Killed it.
Killed it.
Problem solved.
All right, now on to an equally important question.
Saving lives.
I got accused of smelling a woman's chair at work. I work with a few good-looking women, and the other day I had to get something at this other woman's desk. While I was at the desk, something fell on the floor, and I went on my knees to get the item, and my head just so happened to be near her chair. As I'm down there, she comes back to see me, and it's like, oh my god, why are you sniffing my chair, you freak? I got written up for this. This is bullshit. How come nobody sees my side? Now, no, as I understand, you have a little bit of experience with that.
Oh, this is my episode. Oh man.
Okay. Have you ever been wrongly accused of something?
Oh, I'm sure I have. I feel like in my family, like this is little stuff,
Mhm.
but like my family, like they just like dump stuff on me, like it's my fault, and I'm like, I was clearly in the right here.
Do you have any specific examples?
Yeah, me and my dad and my brother went to a movie,
Okay.
and my dad has a truck, and the middle console is also the cup holders for the back seat.
Uh-huh.
And so I was getting in the back seat, they're getting in the front seat, and my brother gets in the seat. He leans over and then like to grab a seatbelt or something, pulls his elbow back, hits my drink that's in the cup holder,
Mhm.
and then like spills it on the back seat, and everyone's like, "Damn it, no! Why'd you put your drink there?"
How dare you put the drink in
I
the
know.
allocated drink spot?
My elbow was gonna be there. Didn't you not realize?
How did you not know that my
But yeah, it's
freakishly
stuff like
muscular
that, and they're
elbow-
like, "No, it's your fault." And I'm like, "Ah!"
Oh, okay. So how'd you get out of that one, Noah?
I didn't. They just hate me now.
So it sounds like that's what this guy has to deal with. Is like people are just gonna hate you now. You're just gonna be chair
The
sniffer.
carpet's gonna be sticky forever. And
No, so I don't okay. So they think he was smelling her chair.
yeah.
So let's put ourselves in this situation, okay?
Chair sniffing.
Where-
Okay,
Where
I'm down.
No, we're not sniffing chairs, Noah.
Damn it! It wasn't you though.
Yeah,
That's
no.
what I heard.
No, okay.
From the story that I heard,
I
he sniffed
dropped
chair.
something on the floor, and then I was by
No,
the
Rebecca
chair.
definitely said she walked in on you just sniffing your chair.
Something smelled
Oh.
funny.
Yeah,
and
but
I was,
didn't the manager punish you? So wouldn't the
Yeah.
manager be right in the situation
I don't know.
too?
Okay, let's role play. Okay, so I'm the guy who sniffed the chair. This is
Yeah,
like
you
I
did
mean,
sniff the chair.
yeah. No.
Yeah,
I'm
you did. You're the guy who
alleged-
sniffed the chair.
I'm
You
the-
said so
I'm the guy
yourself.
I'm the guy who allegedly sniffs the chair.
Okay.
Allegedly.
Which one is it?
And then
Pick.
I walk into your office. Okay.
Okay.
Good evening, John. You wanted to talk to me?
Yes.
What's
You know what
can
you
I-
did.
Can I take a seat?
No. Stand.
Do you mind if I smell? I mean,
No.
sorry.
Yeah, no. After what you did, you cannot be close to chairs anymore.
What did I do?
You know what you did.
What do you mean I know what I did? I didn't. You called me in here, John.
Yeah, you bent over slowly and seductively, and then got a big old whiff of Rebecca's chair.
Whoa. Rebecca. Okay. Hold on.
Rebecca, I heard her scream.
Listen, she called me a freak. I wasn't smelling the chair.
Her
I swear.
pants weren't on.
What? That's besides the point. I dropped my belt on the floor. I had to go and pick it up.
Yeah, you did.
There's no. I couldn't.
Ah.
It's not my fault.
I heard. Quote. You ordered some big Italian sausage.
Yeah.
That's what you said to
That's
her
what
as she walked in.
She did order big Italian sausage. I was there to make sure that the order was
The
filled.
package.
And then while
You're
I was
fired.
and then-
You're fired.
No, sir, what about my pension? I've
We legally are obligated to give that to you.
okay. All right. Well, how big's the severance package?
Too big.
Too big?
I'll show
I
you,
know.
though.
I know a thing or two about too big. Do you have Italian sausage for Rebecca, sir? So that's basically how most corporate meetings go down, as far as I understand it. I've only
Yeah,
been in
you
a
know.
couple.
When you go into this guy named Jeff's office and he's just like, "Hey, take a seat." Yeah, that's what's gonna go down.
Yeah, I'm not sure if there's a way you can talk your way out of this. If you have, I mean, I'd assume
It's done now. you
Yeah,
know? So like,
but I'd also assume that like, I don't know. One, don't let it happen again. You got written up for it.
Yeah.
Keep your nose very clear of any chairs.
Mhm.
But like, yeah, I guess you just take it.
yeah, like, what do you do? It's like her word against yours, and there's
Mhm.
no proof either way. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you just get stuck with it.
Yeah, and it's like whoever has the more compelling case seems more emotionally scarred.
Yeah, I think that's a case where whoever's more passionate about it gets
Mhm.
the win. It's like,
Yeah. And it's also like one of those things where the more you fight against, like, I was not sniffing her chair. It's like, well, that's exactly what someone who's sniffing her chair would say.
yeah.
And you're like, you just like break.
But yeah, that really sucks if you get like 3 strikes and then that's your one, and it's
Yeah.
like, well, I wasn't planning on using the others, but just in case.
Yeah, just in case. It's like, what if my nose is accidentally too close to something else?
And then what if I do want to sniff someone's chair? Now I can only do it twice.
Yeah, you're just like, damn it. I didn't want to waste this on Rebecca. Janice clearly has the superior chair. Oh, that's so gross.
Genuine leather.
I've never like understood the whole like mentality behind like wanting to smell that. Like
females.
like female pheromones left over on a
Yeah.
chair. Like
That's wacky.
that's not necessarily always a great smell. Ladies. I don't. Some people be whack, you know. Like there's those vending machines that sell the used Japanese girl panties or whatever. You know that?
Is that a real thing?
Yeah,
or
it's a
just
real
like some
thing.
like video thing.
No, that's
okay.
a thing. That's
Okay,
a thing.
Sure.
I
I can imagine such with your vivid description.
It's it was actually I patented it. I don't want to brag or anything. It is a multi-dollar company.
I was about to say, flourishing.
No, actually, I believe it's like whoever started it's like a millionaire or some shit now. So,
Yikes.
but speaking of money, we should move into the money section of the podcast, aka the break. In which case, or unless you're on YouTube, in which case, enjoy the sweet jump cut. And welcome back from the ad break or that sweet ass jump cut, depending on where you watch us. Either way, you guys should share us with your friends and all that shit. I'll say that right now. And the next question is, I'm 20 and I've done so many wrong, cringy, embarrassing, and awkward things. How can I not worry about them, or can I get over them? They always haunt me, and many people have negatively judged me because of my personality. How can I make things right?
Well, if you would solve this this problem like my parents would, you'd move.
You'd move, huh?
Yeah, just whole new city, new
Anytime.
life. Anytime any minor inconvenience happens.
One minor, it's like,
You think I'm joking, but you know how many times I've moved.
I know exactly how many times you've moved.
It wouldn't surprise you.
I don't know exactly how many times
No,
you've moved.
it's probably more than you think.
How many? Can I guess? Do you have the exact number in your head?
I don't. It also matters if you say it's houses or cities? Because that's different too.
Let's say houses.
Houses. That's
Too many?
no. I'll give an estimate. Give me a
Okay.
guess.
I'm gonna guess. Oh, I'm trying to add up the amount of time since I've met you.
Yeah, there's quite a
Shit.
few when I was like before I came to. Ellsworth.
16. Is that
Probably
too
a little low.
little low?
Not a whole lot though.
How? In what ballpark are you?
Like 20s.
20s?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. It's
Do you have an exact number? Do you know?
my guess would be like 24.
24. Jeez, Louise's.
Yeah, it's
Louise's Christ,
so
bro.
my parents have made 24 mistakes, or I have made 24 mistakes, and they have moved
24
because of that.
mistakes. Well, it only took one mistake for my mom to get me to feel that, so. But yeah, do you have anything like cringy, embarrassing that like haunts you?
No, because I move so much.
Well, it doesn't mean that you don't have things that like haunt you.
me.
Like I have
Yeah.
things that haunt me, and I've moved cities many times since they've happened. Like many times, a couple of times. But like, I still have things like
I'm the Lord's child, so I don't do
for
things
sure,
that haunt
for
me.
sure. No, I have things that like when you zone out and you have like that fake seizure thing where you're just staring off into space. Like when I do that, I'm usually remembering something really cringy, and then like
Okay.
I just like shake myself out of it. It keeps me it honestly keeps me from sleeping sometimes because like I will be thinking about that as I'm drifting off. And then as soon as it gets to the cringy part, my brain's just like, nope, we're out of this situation. And then I wake up
and you
I'm
can't
like,
sleep anymore.
yeah, I'm like, oh god, that
Yikes.
fucking sucked. So the way to get over them is for me to confront them. Kind of like if you feel like it was weird or that you wronged someone or some whatever like that. Usually it helps me to like confront the person involved or just to kind of validate it or like well, that's not validate isn't the word. Make it seem like it's not that big of a deal. Just because usually it's not a huge deal. It's usually just like, oh hey, I did this thing that was really stupid and cringy, but the other person definitely doesn't think about that anymore or whatever.
Yeah, and that's something I think about. Like, I'm gonna say bottle it up, which sounds unhealthy and dangerous. But when it's something that you know they don't care about, then you can just like while you're like freaking out about it, you just suppress it for like a year, and then like after that year, you're just like, oh, that means nothing to me anymore.
Yeah. You know, and it is funny looking back at things that you thought were this huge deal. A year later, like you said, they never mean shit. Like they didn't change anything. No one's hurt because of it. No one's like lingering on it. No one healthy, anyways. Except for you, if you were still lingering on it. In which case, stop it. That's not healthy, bitch. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have called you a bitch. You're a little baby 20-year-old. Says I, the adult in the scenario.
The 21-year-old.
The 21-year-old. Omae wa shindayo.
Nani.
But no, like things that haunt you, you have to kind of confront them. They're not just gonna go away on their own, necessarily. So for some people they do, but I think we're kind of
lucky.
I think people in our age range tend to be a little bit less mentally prepared to handle these things for some reason. I don't know why that is, but it just seems to be the trend. People I've met, they're all like fucked up. They're like, oh yeah, I did this thing and I hate myself for it. It's like, well, it wasn't that weird what you did. I know someone who they have these things that bother them. And it's gotten to the point where as soon as they confront something where they're like, oh, that was stupid, they just immediately turn around and apologize for it.
Oh, yeah.
No matter how little it was.
Really? That's bold.
Yeah, no.
I wish that could be me.
When I first met this person, well, it wasn't even an interaction with them. Like I'd seen them walking around the school before I'd ever been introduced to them by a mutual friend. The first interaction I saw them have was they said something to a professor of mine, said the wrong thing, like flubbed or something, and then like walked away. And then like 3 minutes later came back and he was just big chilling, doing whatever on his laptop. And then she comes back and looks at him and was like, hey, I'm really sorry. That was really awkward and weird what I did before. And like just like apologized straight up. And I was like, yeah. And then he's like, oh, no, you're fine.
Nobody cared.
No,
Yeah.
it's okay. And then he walked off. It's like to him it was nothing. He was like a well-adjusted like 46-year-old or something.
Right.
But and I believe she was like 18. And so So to him, it was absolutely nothing. But to her, she needed that like little bit
If
of
she
closure.
knew that was gonna eat her up for the next 3 weeks,
Exactly.
just get it off your chest.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And so
that's kind of smart.
yeah,
Mhm.
I'd say do that.
Yeah,
Like,
if you can.
it's really hard. I tried doing it for a little while. I definitely have issues with that. Like where it's just like, oh fuck, too much time has passed. It's
Mhm.
been like 4 minutes.
Yeah.
But no, I'm gonna challenge myself to do that too, actually, because I think that's good advice. I think that's
Mhm.
good enough advice that I should actually probably take it.
Yeah, and it works all the time. Whereas
Mhm.
like some days where it's like bottle it up, it doesn't work if there's someone hurt
Mhm.
on the other side of it and
Mhm.
things like that. So
Yeah, it's just confront your fears, apologize, get over them immediately. That way, you're only dealing with old demons instead of new ones on top of them. And that concludes the regular questions for this podcast. So
we're gonna have different ones.
yeah, I have
Oh.
this fun little bit that I wanted to test out, and I'm only gonna test it out on this last little segment here because I don't know, it's a little bit wacky. So going around looking for these questions, I end up with a lot of questions that don't quite make the cut. Whether there's like not enough detail behind them or they're just not like good enough for the show. Uh, Not to say that we ever do that with our emailed in questions. We'll look at those almost every time. But no, you get a lot of these weird questions that are like one lines.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't really have a name for this segment, but eventually I might come up with a name for it. But these are just one-liner questions that are kind of silly and dumb and don't have any context.
Yay.
So we're gonna start off real lively with this one that just says, "What happens after we die?" So we can get philosophical. You can answer it straight up. It doesn't matter. We've got a whole nother 10 minutes of the podcast to fill if you want.
Whatever you believe happens.
All right. I believe nothing happens.
An endless void.
I believe
Darkness.
you go into an endless void and then eventually you are reincarnated as a squirrel or some shit.
I want to ask something. So on Skyrim, you know, the great RPG created by Bethesda that we have both put in too many hours to.
Mhm.
Each person has their like god and deity, and then they go to the actual person that they worshipped.
Mhm.
But then there's one who his literal like part of whatever the realm is called the void, and you just get to live in blackness. That's the Dark Brotherhood. And it's like, why didn't you worship the god who let you go to Valhalla and fight for the rest of your life or whatever? Like, be part of the hunt and like join the werewolves.
Yeah.
But no, you're like, I like darkness.
He's like, you know what?
Is it warm there? Because that's kind of what I want.
See, that's the thing that bothers me about a void, honestly. It's not the fact that it's dark. It's that I associate darkness with being cold, and I hate being cold. So I'm just like, if it's a warm void, maybe. Okay, this next one. If humans need meat to survive, then how are vegans alive?
They're dead on the inside. Does
Yeah.
that count?
They aren't
None
allowed.
of them are happy.
They're not allowed to have a burger, for one. So they're already fucked up mentally. No, vegans, I believe, need some vitamins, right?
Because they lack like protein and things like that.
Yeah,
they struggle sometimes.
Yeah,
And they don't got that good cholesterol.
but that's why vegans look so hot.
Right? They just don't eat, and then they look
they're just
great.
like, wow, you are fucking sexy. And they're like, I'm starving. I'm like, oh my god, would you
Me
like
too, though.
would you like a bite of my bird? How about my scrambled eggs or maybe some milk? Fuck, what do vegans eat? Like, that's the one thing keeping me from being vegan, I think, is that it's such a pain in the ass.
I felt like if I got like the Blue Apron or whatever, where they just like send you meals, and I got like a vegan one, I could probably be all right.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't mean that like against vegans or anything. I think vegans, like I've met a ton of like really sweet, nice people who are just like, oh yeah, I'm vegan. I'm like, oh cool, good for you. But like I just
hopping in, it'd be so hard.
Yeah, like I was raised to be, you know, a down home cooking.
Yeah, you're the kind of family who would like buy a cow and then chop it up and have like that meat for the next year.
Yeah, that was our that was how we survived really. And then like doing deer, one time we shot 2 deer. And I apologize to anyone, you know, trigger warning. We took them home, and then rather than sometimes what you do is you take them to a plant that will actually like skin them and like cut them up into everything and whatever for you. This year we didn't have the money to do that, so we did it ourselves.
Okay.
In the kitchen.
Oh.
we pulled 2 deer carcasses into our house, skinned them, tan the fur. Oh no, we were going to tan the hides, and then we ended up not being able to do that. We were actually going to tan them like old school, like Native American style, see how that worked, but we never got around to it. But no, like we cut them up into the different things and like all that.
Wow.
That was like a crazy experience.
How long did that take?
I want to took it all. Let's say it took like all afternoon.
Yeah.
I think we got them in there like 11 or something in the morning, and like it was really dark outside by the time we finished. Which I mean, in the winter time it gets darker faster, but I think it was like 7 or 8 by the time we finished. It's like a full 8 hours at least.
Wow.
But yeah, no, like that's, and then we survive on that.
Yeah.
So like that's the kind of household I was raised in. So like I don't know how to make anything vegan. And veganism is you can't have anything that's an animal byproduct, right?
Yes.
I believe.
So no like leather, no dairy products, no. Yeah.
Oh, no leather. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Like you can't even like own.
Yeah, you'd have to know like what your stuff is made out of.
Anything.
You like leather.
Oh, that's sweet. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I do like leather. Well, I mean,
Can you use like wool stuff? Because that's not like hurting them.
Wolf
But like if
stuff?
you can't do wool.
Oh, I thought.
No. Yeah.
I was like,
Can you chop off the head of a wolf? Do they accept that? They're not real animals.
That's earth grown, dude. Okay, no.
But wool, yeah. If you can't do milk, I wouldn't think you could do wool. So only
Sure
like
you can
cotton
do wool.
clothes.
Cotton, linens. Wait, linens are
I don't know.
not
Cashmere. No, that's wool.
It was cashmere's wool.
Yeah.
It's a kind of sheep. No, it's not.
No, it's just the stuff that's like
Yeah.
really close to the skin. Fun fact.
Oh,
If you
there
didn't know
go.
what cashmere was.
I actually didn't. There
Yeah.
you go. I
It's the
learned
stuff that
something
doesn't
today.
get hit by the
But
weather.
yeah, no. Vegans survive based on a lot of.
A lot of plants. They
Craven-
eat the meat of the plants, and so that's how they survive.
Yeah, they eat our
Indirect.
our food.
So should we eat them? No.
Wait, would
Next
vegans
question.
be the anyways? I've been drinking a bit over a gallon of vodka a week for 3 years. If I quit all at once, will I die? I'm a 44-year-old female. Shouldn't she be dead already?
I was about to say.
So like
You're writing from
we,
the afterlife.
we were saying that vegans were dead inside.
Yeah.
Like she is literally like her body is
It's
just a
just black.
hollowed out
Yeah.
husk. We did the math on this before the podcast. That is 18 ounces a day. Is that what it
Yeah,
was?
like a bottle of water of
It's like-
vodka a day.
like
Uh-huh.
look up an 18 ounce like water bottle.
It'd be a little more than like your like standard water bottle.
Yeah, like
So those are 12.
what was it, like the
The buy.
buy
B-A-I.
thing teas? Like one of those of vodka every day.
Mhm.
God damn.
So,
So
like in one sitting, just like starting off your day, just chugging like a bottle.
I'd imagine it's like how I nurse a coffee when I work in an
Uh-huh.
office. It's just like you start out, you have the full bottle, and then by the time 6 o'clock rolls around, you're out of vodka.
Yeah.
And then you go home and sleep and wake up, do it again.
Yeah, you probably would. Like you're doing that for a reason, like mentally or physically.
Mhm.
And so like whatever you're stemming off with this vodka and you stop,
Yeah, and your body's like for 3.
your body's used to it now. Like
Yeah, if
it
you're-
wouldn't be healthier to stop, I don't think.
Yeah, you'd
Yeah.
probably go through some hella withdrawals.
Mm-hmm.
That's nuts. You should seek medical help is what you should do.
You should wean yourself.
Yeah. Okay. So if the sun is in if if the sun is in space, why is there no light in space? Noah, you're in a physics class.
Yeah, I'd give you a real answer, but that doesn't seem as fun as just saying vampires and not addressing that they have a real problem.
There's
No. Yeah,
So you're
there
in
is
spa-
light in space.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that right now. There are waves, and there are 3 different kinds of waves. There's
Mhm.
infinite kind of waves, but there's a spectrum, and we can see the violet, the color light.
ultraviolet.
So no, you cannot.
Oh
see
no, we can't
ultraviolet.
see ultraviolet. You're
Yeah.
right.
So you have your colored light,
Mhm.
and then on the top of our colored light is violet, and the bottom is red.
Gotcha.
So we have ultraviolet, which is faster than violet. So we can't see that,
Mhm.
but that can do some damage because a lot of it's going really fast and has lots of energy. And then there's micro or infrared, which is like really long waves, which are our microwaves and things like
Mhm.
that. So we can't see infrared rays or ultraviolet waves, but they're there. And the sun
Mhm.
produces ultraviolet rays, and they're
Mhm.
in space, but they don't have anything to reflect off of, and we couldn't see them anyways.
Now explain it to me like I'm 7.
Okay, so we can see middle light. Then there's super high light that we can't see, and there's
Middle
super
light?
low light that they can't see.
Wait, like brightness?
No, like imagine like a color that doesn't exist. Yeah, like that. So that's what that is, and that's what this is. And then so I broke him. So that's the end of the podcast.
No, yeah, no, you're stupid. I'm sorry. We have 2 more questions. Okay. If you're stealing a bike and a police officer orders you to stop, but you proceed to ride away anyways, Can they legally shoot you?
I don't know if they legally can, but
Yeah.
they will.
depending on locale and age
and just random factors that have not been
that-
predetermined by any means.
So one, you shouldn't be stealing a bike.
No.
Uh,
Or riding away after someone has caught
like
you.
why are you legally worried? Why are you worried about the legality of them shooting you when you are doing something illegal by nature?
Yeah, because if they can't shoot you, then you might be able to get away. And if you get away, then there's no repercussions.
But there are repercussions.
No.
There's all right.
Johnny doesn't have his bike.
Johnny doesn't have his bike. Sucks for Johnny, not for you, because now I'm.
So yeah, you'll probably get away with it. They probably won't
$100.
shoot you. They
Probably
might
won't
hit you
shoot
with their car, but
Yeah, but like if they chase you down, like I feel like there's no upside.
a medium
to this,
speed
you know?
pursuit.
Could you imagine bicycle cops in a chase with a bike thief? Like I want to see helicopter footage of that. Like the ultra zoomed in, just like.
We're bringing in the big boys, and it's like a moped cop.
A horse cop gets involved at one point. Okay, so
Don't steal a bike.
if evolution is true, then how come my cat can't turn into a dog?
Sorry, guys. This is the end of the podcast.
So I want to thank everyone for watching. If you guys want to ask your own questions, to check the description below.
Wait, why can't your cat turn into a dog?
You should check the description below to find other places where you can find us.
I need
We're
to
on,
know.
we're on YouTube and everywhere else.
Tabby wants to be Spot.
We will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.